Welcome to Talkin Tullahoma. In the studio with me today is Base Commander Colonel Scott Cain. Welcome. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on the show.
Thank you. Long time no see.
Yes, since last night at Engineers Week banquet.
No, it seems like you're everywhere, and you're such an illustrious career thus far. I've got cheat notes just in case I can't remember all the wonderful things about you. So, well, welcome, and we're talking a little bit about you. I'm sure most of the people that know, because you've been the base commander. I remember filming that. How long ago was that?
It was about a year and a half. Last July, July of 2017 is when I took over there.
That's right. It was very hot that day. I do remember
yes, it
that.
was.
It was fun in there, so that was kind of exciting. And you came from Edwards?
That's right, Edwards Air Force Base out in California.
So yeah, kind of well, it's probably a little different for you coming from California to Tullahoma.
A little is an understatement, yes.
No. I'm from Atlanta. It's a little bit of culture shock.
A little overwhelmed by the green here.
It is a very green state, yes. We're very agriculturally conscious. Talked about that yesterday, as a matter of fact, with someone. So, and you have a lovely family. I've met your wife, and you've got 2 kids. Is that right?
That's right. Yep, a teenage daughter and an elementary school son.
Yeah, I bet that teenage daughter's a lot of fun.
Yeah, she's a great kid.
No, I've got a teenage son. They can be great, can't they? So, how did they, kind of adjust once they moved here? Kids are way more adaptable than adults.
Well, I'd say certainly that's true, but the military kids of all are very resilient and adaptable, and they have to be. So they've really enjoyed it here. They've had a great experience in the schools. The Tullahoma schools were very welcoming and brought them in. I've told some folks that we've been to a lot of schools all around the country, and not all of them are set up for military kids coming in. Just a small thing like a new student orientation that they had here allowed our kids to get in, see the school, meet some teachers, meet some other new kids before their first day, and it made a big difference in their first day of school in a new town, so we really appreciated that. But they've had a good experience.
So they're kind of spoiled. The next place you guys might go, right?
Well, they're definitely, they've built some skills in moving around, making new friends, and I try to keep their noses in the books and focused on their school as much as I can too.
Well, that's good. So besides the schools, which, are pretty amazing, I think, but, we've got that strong engineer base.
Yeah.
Besides the schools, and you said it was green, so I'm taking it that you and your wife probably got out and enjoyed a little bit of that green, maybe hiking and some stuff like that?
Yeah, absolutely. The natural beauty is certainly something we take advantage of here. Living out on Arnold Village on Woods Reservoir is a great place for the kids to roam and explore, and we take advantage of that with the facilities that we have on the base and ability to get on the lake.
Oh, yeah.
And to fish. But we like to get out and hike. We've done a lot of exploring around here. Short Springs is one of our favorites, to go out to Machine Falls, and there are a lot of other places around. South Cumberland is another one of our favorites. A lot of great hiking up there.
Oh, yeah. But have you done the Fiery Gizzard?
Not the whole thing, but we've been on the trail and done some exploring and some camping up there, actually.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of nice. I mean, it's kind of tucked away, but yeah, not too far away. That's the good thing about where we live. I mean, in this area, it's like you don't have to go very far, and you can go on a little camping trip.
That is absolutely amazing, that you can be just on the outskirts of Tullahoma and get on that Short Springs trail and some of the beautiful falls that are out there. We've really enjoyed that.
And I'm sure, you're probably very busy at the base, and so that being able to have a nice little getaway and not have to actually, get on a plane or drive 8 hours. So it's really nice to be able to spend some time with the family then.
It really is. Yeah, and we try to do that on our days off, is really focus on doing things as a family, because we're pretty busy during the week.
So how do you think being the base commander here in Tullahoma has differed from, you were the base commander at Edwards as well?
No, I was the operations group commander. So there's an installation commander that's another level up. So there I was focused on the flight operation, doing the flight test mission, not as concerned with the installation, running the base. So it is fundamentally different here for just the job that I'm in. But I've enjoyed that, of dealing with a different part of the Air Force at the installation level and being able to oversee the mission. And as you know, the mission at Arnold has grown beyond the borders of Arnold Air Force Base, that we're nationwide, that we have units from the East Coast to the West Coast now.
I know, it's amazing how, and you just, the things that come out of little Tullahoma, Tennessee. I was literally just blown away when I found out that the flagpole on the moon, parts of, were manufactured here. It's crazy. It's Tullahoma, Tennessee.
Well, and a lot of the technology that got us there was developed at Arnold Air Force Base as well.
And UTSI, I mean, I don't know how many astronauts that have gone through there. When I went to NASA a few years ago, I was just like, they were talking about Tullahoma and UTSI, and I'm like, hey, you're from Tullahoma? I'm from Tullahoma, yeah. So it's big news out there in Houston, too. But yeah, I was going to say, so base commander and what you did at Edwards, both stressful, but just stressful in different ways.
Well, they're busy jobs, but I'll tell you, it's a team effort. You know, one of the things that I have that I'm very fortunate for is the other leaders that I have at Arnold. The military leaders, the civil servants, the contractor leadership are just a phenomenal team. All I can try to do is make the conditions good for them to thrive, and they do all the work. Well,
I mean, that's true. I mean, a team is only as strong as each individual member, and everybody is an important cog in that wheel. So
absolutely, and we have a great team out at the base.
I know it's to have survived, and all the transitions and you know, layoffs and the government's, you know, ebb and flow. It's thriving. It's, compared to some. I mean, there are some bases that didn't survive. So we are pretty.
Yeah, and this is one of those periods where business is good, and it looks like it will stay that way for the few years out that I can see. The modernization that's going on in the Air Force and the other services, before that happens, those systems, whether it's an airplane or an engine or a rocket or something that's going into orbit, they go through Arnold in this complex, and we're seeing that now. So there's a lot of work, and it looks like it's going to stay like that for the foreseeable future.
Oh, and we talked about it last night at the event we were at about the autonomous element being added to, and what did he say that was pretty recent, like maybe just a couple of years that they've been doing that?
Yeah, we were talking about autonomous ground collision and air collision avoidance in aircraft, and that's certainly one of the new technologies that's important that we will have a hand in, as well as some others like hypersonic, space, directed energy, and we're posturing ourselves to be the place where those things are tested.
But it's good to be the place. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll hear a little more about that. So stay with us, and we'll be back right after this.
This is your internet service at 10 meg speeds. This is internet service at gigabit. No other local provider can match this level of speed. Call us today to get the world's fastest internet.
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
Does your family love to stream movies and use multiple Wi-Fi enabled devices? But are you finding out that your run-of-the-mill router simply can't keep up? Don't worry, LightTube has you covered with our internet router service for only $9.95 per month. Get back to what your family loves doing. Call us today at 455-4515 to learn more.
You wanna dance? check out Stingray Music on TV. Now available, the new Stingray Music mobile app, free with your TV subscription. Stingray Music, all good vibes.
Welcome back to Talkin' Tullahoma. Well, when we left, we were talking a little bit about some of the advancements that are going to go through, that are going to make, Nashville may be the it city, but we're going to make Arnold the it base. So
yeah, what we're most known for is wind tunnels and propulsion and rockets and some space development. The business there is going to stay there for the foreseeable future, and we're going to still need to keep testing those systems in those facilities that we have in the complex. The emerging technologies are really going to be part of our business in the future, and we're trying to set ourselves up to be able to test those. Part of our national defense strategy is competing in those new technology areas. So I mentioned a few of them: hypersonics, space systems, directed energy, and those are all things that we have worked on in the past, but they're becoming important national priorities, and we're right in the middle of all of those.
Well, sure, we've never really left the space program, but there was definitely a dial back, and it feels like there's a big resurgence now in right. space travel, and I'm not sure if it has to do with the fact that it's no longer just a military thing. A little bit of the private sector has got mixed into that, and do you see the detriment, or do you see that as a positive?
Well, it's certainly the commercial spaceflight program has been to allow us to rely on ourselves for access to space, and that's important both from the commercial and military perspectives. The part of the space business that we're most focused on now is protecting those assets that we have on orbit. Our economy, our way of life has just become so dependent on space in ways that are transparent in a lot of ways. The navigation system that you have, banking systems, how we communicate, very much tied into space systems. So nationally, we want to make sure that we preserve that capability for our economy, transportation, but military, of course, as well.
Well, sure. And it's funny because I'm a little bit older than you, so I can remember when, the big things that we got from space were Velcro and Tang. But now it's like, the failure is not an option with Apollo 13, where they had the box and this is what they've got, and they got to figure. They wouldn't have that problem now, because they probably have like one of the little what do you call the laser printer things, where they are
3D printer.
Yeah, 3D printer.
Right, just print one.
Yeah, they print whatever part they needed.
Yeah, so we really just have become. It's been one of our advantages is our space systems. But we've really come to rely on that, and our adversaries know that as well, so they will contest that. So it's our job to make sure that we protect that for all those reasons that I mentioned.
Oh, sure.
And hypersonics, vehicles that go faster than Mach 5, are a national priority, and Arnold and AEDC are leading that effort. And directed energy is the other one I mentioned, high power lasers, and really getting to a point where we can operationalize those kind of systems. But we have the people and the facilities that can test those and make those a reality.
So you've tested the F-35s, right? Now
Mm-hmm.
you've been a base commander, which is wrangling a whole different set of monkeys. Mm-hmm. And recently, although it's not all the way, you got a little kind of a title change there. You've gone from being a colonel to let me see if I can get this right. You're a Brigadier General Select.
That's right.
Oh, awesome. I got it right on the first time.
Yeah,
and the
perfect.
Select it's kind of like, it's just there, it's like a placeholder until you have the official ceremony, correct?
That's right. So there's a promotion process that the Air Force does. The Senate goes through a confirmation process. So I've been through both of those. And now it's a matter of actually getting to the pinning on, as we call it. There's a statutory limit, actually. So by law, there are only so many generals allowed in each service. So it's a matter of one of those positions becoming available, and then the general selects move up and actually pin on into those positions. So that's what I'm waiting for now.
It's kind of like applying to college after the first run. You got to wait for somebody, like a spot to open up for you.
It's exactly what's happening, and so we will, do that ceremony when we find out. Whether that happens while I'm still here, not quite sure, but I'd really like it if I could do that here.
That would be nice, because the people that were here that, see you, change that, come in and make your mark here, rather. I didn't want to say change, but make your mark.
Well, this is a really good thing for Arnold Air Force Base and AEDC too. So a couple of years ago, it became a wing equivalent organization, which was a step up in where it stands in the Air Force. And I really think this promotion, although looks like an individual accomplishment, has a lot of meaning for the whole complex. It's really an acknowledgement of how the Air Force and the Department of Defense view the importance of Arnold and AEDC. It's grown, as we talked about, so all of those go into play in this promotion. But this is a good thing for Arnold. There have been general officers leading the complex, or center as it used to be called in the past, and it has changed from major general down to colonel and back a couple of times now. But this is just I think really a sign of what AEDC means today as much as anything.
Sure, it's kind of like your team going to the championships, your state champions, because we have just had for a while, and not to diminish that, but colonels, full board colonels, and I'm trying to remember the last time we had any kind of general out there, and I think it might have been Wiedemer. Is Wiedemer a general?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. And General Stringer, Brigadier General Stringer, was the last 07 general commander, and there have been colonel commanders since then, and two now, if you General Brewer and myself, who've gotten promoted out of the position. So it has a history of being a general officer position, but
like a launch pad.
But I think this is a good sign of what Arnold means and what it's going to mean in the future.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, it's kind of like if you get sent to Tullahoma, it means you're getting ready to be sent up, like to the majors, like you're going from the AAA to the AA or something.
Yeah, that's
something like that.
Hopefully it stays like that.
Well, that's great. So I'm sure you're excited about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Waiting for that pinning on ceremony, but
Yeah.
it could be a sad thing too, because once that happens, it could mean that you're going somewhere else.
Yeah, I will definitely be going somewhere else, and we expect to do that this summer.
Well, it's good to move in the summer at least.
Yeah, and there is a new commander that's already been announced. Colonel Jeff Garrity is going to come here. He's currently at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base as the commander of the Big Safari program, is what it's called. So he's going to be a great commander for Arnold. He's involved in a lot of rapid acquisition, getting things fast to the field, and that's the way that the test and acquisition environment is right now. He's going to have a lot of experience and be a great asset for Arnold.
That's interesting. A few years ago, we lost a base commander to Wright-Pat. Colonel Huber went up to Wright-Pat. Came here and went on up there. So
that's right. One of the few that left the area. A lot of them have stayed in the area because of probably all those things we were talking about before about how great it is as a place to live.
We do have I can't tell you how many friends. I don't know if you. I'm sure you know Colonel Rutley. I know that they came here, and then and Wiedemer and several of them. They just come and they stay.
Yeah, it's great to have a cadre of the former commanders. I met with them as soon as I got here. They're a resource that I can use, that have a lot of knowledge and history of the base, and yeah, a lot of them have stayed because it's a great place to live.
But it's nice too, because you have someone on hand that you can sort of, ask about things, because sometimes it's you need to know that the past in order to pave that way for the future, or it helps at least.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of knowledge in the former commanders, in the longtime employees of Arnold, in the AEDC fellows. There are a lot of individuals who have been recognized as fellows of the complex or center that are a brain trust, really, and we tap into that for projects that we're bringing back online. For example, several test facilities, and we've used some of those folks to help us understand how it can come back online.
And plus, you have right down the road UTSI too, so you sort of have that partnership, for lack of a better word.
Oh, absolutely. Partnership's exactly what it is, and that's one of the things that we've really been working on reinvigorating. Dr. Wharton and his staff have been working with mine to try to make sure that we have a good relationship and that we're working together to solve our nation's problems, really.
I know, and you know, it seems like it's the government and the military and itself is huge, but it's really kind of a small family. I mean, we had a speaker there last night from Colorado, and apparently your path had crossed with him, and he was actually alumni of UTSI and had never been there. So
yeah, the world just keeps getting smaller, doesn't it?
I know, it's crazy, isn't it? It's just it's wonderful. So I know your lovely wife. I know that she's very involved in the community, and I think I've actually interviewed her a couple of times in regards to art and stuff.
That's right.
It's good that you guys embraced it, so I'm sure you'll embrace the next place as well. But you'll be sad to leave us.
I sure will.
There'll be no place like Tullahoma.
Yep, it's been a great place to live.
I know. So, can you give us any teasers about where you might be going after this, or is that allowed?
Yeah, I really can't. I have some ideas, but the actual announcement of that hasn't come out, so we should be able to make that announcement pretty soon.
Okay. Well, we've got to go to commercial,
okay.
So we'll be back right after this.
This is your internet service at 10 meg speeds. This is internet service at gigabit. No other local provider can match this level of speed. Call us today to get the world's fastest internet.
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
Does your family love to stream movies and use multiple Wi-Fi enabled devices? But are you finding out that your run-of-the-mill router simply can't keep up? Don't worry, LightTube has you covered with our internet router service for only $9.95 per month. Get back to what your family loves doing. Call us today at 455-4515 to learn more.
You wanna dance?
Check out Stingray Music on TV. Now available, the new Stingray Music mobile app, free with your TV subscription. Stingray Music, all good vibes.
Welcome back to Talkin' Tullahoma. So we went a little long, and you're fascinating. I'm sorry, just all the things and all that you've done are just, it's remarkable. So, and for such a short time too. You're very young for a general. What's the average age for general? Do you know?
I don't think I know the average age. There's a window when you can be promoted from the 23 to 27 year point in the service. So I'm in that window. So yeah, it's been a great career. I've done a lot of things I never imagined I would have done, from living overseas to flying F-35s like you mentioned, and just the fact that I can keep doing that is really an honor, and we're excited about the opportunity to keep leading in the Air Force. It's fun, and I get to keep doing that. Being able to do something you love and have the opportunity to keep doing that is really what this is all about. So we're really excited.
So you're saying you still get to fly now?
It is possible, depending on where I go next, that I'll be able to keep flying airplanes. But you know, the job is not so much about flying airplanes or testing airplanes now, is leading people and doing those things that we talked about with taking care of an installation or keeping a mission going and resourced. But the flying part of it is certainly fun.
Oh, I'm sure that's the fun part. It's fun to do that, but I'm sure it's also very rewarding to be part of a team that, you know, the next, you know, frontier that we embark on in outer space. I can't even imagine.
Well, space, all the systems that we're developing, it really is amazing what Arnold and AEDC gives to the nation, and I can't understate that importance. We talked about the promotion and what the value that Arnold and AEDC have to the Air Force and to the Department of Defense right now, but it is just a key part of our national defense. The new national defense strategy is about competing with peer adversaries, a great power competition, you may hear it called, and Arnold and AEDC are really the enablers of that. The technology that we're developing in the wind tunnels, the engine technology, the space technology, all those other new mission areas and new technologies that I was talking about, it really is a great place to be and to influence that for the future. So that gives you a great sense of you know, value and accomplishment to be part of that.
It's, you know, it's amazing the history, you know, goes back to the, I don't know if you're aware of this, back to the 40s, but at one time, and it was a trivia question, there were like, I want to say, was it like 100,000 people here? The population grew from 4,500 to over 100,000 in just a few months, because this was a big processing center back in the 40s. So this isn't, it's not like we're suddenly on the cutting edge. This is just, we're on the cutting edge yet again in another
Absolutely.
evolution.
And I think we always have been. The way I've been describing it is the way that this place was established back in the, like you said, in the 40s. In 1951 is when it was dedicated by President Truman. That was in an effort to keep us in the lead in aerospace for 50 years is what they had planned, and that worked for the 20th century. And now what we're working on is making sure that this place, that Arnold and AEDC are viable to do that for America for the 21st century, and that is really what we're doing here.
And thank you for your part in getting us this far, and well, congratulations and good luck on the next leg of your journey, and we appreciate what you've done here so far.
Well,
so,
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, thanks for coming today, and that's all the time we have. So, but I'll see you again soon, I'm sure, and I'll see you again soon on Talkin' Tullahoma.